Yo, yo, yo. It's Prod. I'm kidding. Ain't nobody time for that right now. How y'all doing today? How's everybody doing today? It's a nice, right now the weather's not bad. It is, it was crazy cold. How many of you guys, were facing the crazy cold that just passed by us, not too long ago? Just recently, actually. How many of you guys dealt with it? And on top of that, I hope you guys are okay because get all your covers and everything. Cover up. Get some thick covers. Cause boy, I don't know what them folk doing with the weather patterns, but they doing something. I just feel like they doing something. Cause that cold was not normal. I don't know if y'all survived through it. Your boy don't like the cold like that. I don't like the cold. I don't. I don't mind like having the AC on and sleeping with some thick covers tight. Okay, that's different. That's probably like as far as I'll push it. You talking about outside, that outside cold and dealing with certain states where it's super cold, and I'll pass on that. I'll probably pass on that. But yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys staying warm. Hope you guys doing all right. Hope you guys had a great week thus far. Hope your year is you know going okay so far. You know, I know a lot of us have. I don't know. We're in weird times. I know a lot of us have goals that we're trying to reach and reach for. Um, I also know that once again we're in hard times. So we're in challenging times. We know that um, it's not easy right now for a lot of us. You know, are the system as they are. The systems don't really play fair. Let's say the least. So all of us are, we're like in a, I don't want to say like a rat race, but it's kind of similar to that. So, nonetheless, y'all stay prayed up. In times like this, stay close to God because, it's like I said, it's tough out here, and um, we can't really afford to do this life by ourselves in a sense. What's going on, Jess? What's going on? You know, Oh, I got my YouTube family right here. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate you. And I got my TikTok family over here, by the way, guys. So I got my TikTok and I got my YouTube over here, all right? Um, and yeah, I hope tip top. I can't even speak right now. My day is going great, Jess. My day is going great. I had a really good start to the day. Can't complain. Cannot complain. How's your day? Hope your day's been well as well. All right, guys. So I'll hop straight into this. Actually, I didn't want to prolong this too long. Let's jump straight into it. All right. Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Glad your day's going good. All right. So as you guys are joining on in, I appreciate the like. Smash that like button. How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing great actually. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, guys. So hop on in. Just smash that like button. Um, we're gonna talk about a topic today that um, I feel like is I want to say kind of like bittersweet. Appreciate the hearts, guys. Appreciate the hearts. I'm doing really good, Cynthia. Cynthia, Anna. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? Yeah. So we're gonna be discussing a topic that not a lot of people. Well, some people are big. We're in some weird times. Let's put it like that. We're in some crazy times, right? Where we understand that the dating pool is not everybody's strong suit right now. It's not everybody's favorite. Not a lot of people having a good time in the dating pool area. It's tough times. Tough times. What can I say? So I figured this would be a really good topic for today to talk about. Um, and really, that's really just finding someone to settle down with, right? Um, honestly, I'd even say goes all the way as far as marriage, taking it all the way with one person. I know it's not a really popular belief right now for a lot of folk. Um, a lot of that has to do with, once again, like how society is right now. You know, it's really beat up. I know it is. I've even decided to take some time to myself. Taking a few years. Not like crazy years. Let me not over exaggerate. Let me be for real though. Let me not say like years like it's been like decades on decades type. It's nothing like that. But I will say still that I had to kind of like step back a little bit and give some time to myself because there's no benefit in rushing in a relationship with somebody. You feel me? That's like one of the worst things you can really honestly do is rush. You don't want to rush. Like, you don't want that. Trust me. Appreciate the likes. Smash that like button. Hit that follow button too, y'all. So I can see, y'all can get my notifications, all right? Yeah, so, it's, like I said, it's a bittersweet because we all, I mean, let's be real. I ain't gonna say all of us, but most of us, we all have it within us. We all want somebody. We all need somebody. There are some of us who be like, "Oh, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody." Like, we all know somebody like that, right? But I mean, even those people, at some point, long term down the line, they'll probably be like, "Dang, like I'm starting to get lonely. Like, I kind of want somebody." You feel me? That's why I don't approve of people coming at it like that. Like, don't ever just be like, "Oh, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody." Like that's one of the worst approaches you can do because you're saying that right now, but you don't know how you're gonna feel 1 year, 2 years down the line. Even just 1 year, a lot can change in just 1 year. Just 1 year. Like I ain't talking about 5+ years. I'm talking about just 1 year, 2 years. So, you know, humbling ourselves is a huge thing that I feel like a lot of us need to try to like lean on a little bit. I ain't gonna enforce nothing because I know how people get. They get really defensive if you try to push it on them like that, and I'm not gonna enforce nothing on nobody. It's always a choice. It's your choice to choose which like path you want to take. So and my purpose on this platform really is to push like not only positivity because I feel like this world needs it in a time like this, but I also push like like W's, wins. Like I want to see y'all win. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm pushing for y'all to prosper in this world, not to lose. There are a lot of people, uh, um, there are a lot of streamers or influencers who are pushing the negative narrative. There's too many of that going on. Actually, there's enough of that. We're honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of it. I'm trying to say I'm tired of like the negative people pushing negativity, all the red pill talks, all um, the feminist talk, all that's getting old. It's getting played out. I feel like it is at least, and it really doesn't serve us. It doesn't. It doesn't serve us long term. You know, um, we can fuss and fight all we want. Um, but we know, not I can't say all of us. Some of us know that um, a lot of these negative influencers, it's not helping us. It's really holding us back. A lot of us, some of us might not even say we realize it right now, but a little down the line, like I said, 1 year, 2 years from now, you'll look back and be like, dang, like probably you'll sit and look back at the time, and it'll finally hit you that um this ain't it. This ain't it. That you want more out of life. All right. And like I said, you can't get more out of life from like all the negative Nancy's online, all the negative people talking. I'm trying to say, like, and once again, comes back to my point. I know it's hard out here. Cause we're talking about the dating scene, we're talking about marriage, things like that, right? I know it's hard out here. I know it's hard out here. Like I know the dating pool's not the best right now. That's why I think it's important that we the first step I think we should do is work on ourselves. Um, take some time to work on ourselves. Take some time to yourself to work on yourself. Don't ever rush into a relationship. I feel like that's one of the worst things you can do. Um, I mean, that's definitely one of the worst things you can do. You don't want to rush into anything because you're only wasting your time. That's really what it comes down to. When you rush into relationships, it also equates to you wasting your time. That's what it is, what it means. All right. So don't rush into no relationship. Don't no matter how good they look. I don't care how good they look. Listen, oh man. Listen. If I could share some stories with you myself, I will. Um I mean, I've had I know some of you guys probably are thinking to yourself, share. Alright, I mean I'll probably think of one thing, not nothing too crazy, but um alright, so there was this one person that I was like head over heels for, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have these kind of stories where it's like you have that one person you head over heels for, to the point where you're not even thinking straight yourself. You really just try to go out of your way to get their attentions and things like that, right? And that's what that's kind of like my approach with it. I would try to get their attention, um, and lo and behold, I didn't know that on the other side, this person was, I want to say, like kind of like one of those. I wouldn't call it even a feminist or anything like that, but just one of those people that let's just say that they had their motives. They had their own motives. I feel like they had their own motives, and um, yeah. I mean, it just didn't go how I thought it would have, how I would have originally wanted. I mean, honestly, now me looking back on it, I honestly thank God. I really do thank God. I feel like a lot of times God saves us in situations we just don't realize it. In the time we want the thing, or we want the person so bad. How many guys have felt that? If you felt that, hit the like button. Hit the like button, maybe even leave a comment about that. How many of us have felt like you've had those moments where you just like you were head over heels over somebody, and it didn't work out, right? So in moments like that, um, a lot of the times it's really God pulling us out of that situation, and just gotta say I think I thank Him. And in moments where things don't work out with certain people, I think we should start thanking God more, because what it really means is we dodged a bullet. All right, it means we dodged a bullet. Not saying the person's not I'm not even gonna say the person's a horrible person. I'm not gonna say anything like that. But maybe the person just needed a lot more work within themselves, in a sense. Because we all do. We all need work. No, none of us are perfect. All right, so I'm not gonna come over here and talk ill about nobody. That's not what I want to do. But but I ain't gonna lie, there are some people who are intentionally evil at the same time. They have their intentions. You know what I'm trying to say? So, but we're gonna leave that for another time. Um, I want to really just touch on something real quick. And once again, this is considered just talking about marriage, right? Talking about marriage. I know that it's not a really popular topic right now. Um, and I also know that some people have maybe even checked out as far as like the dating scene and things like that, right? Um, I also know that a lot of us, deep down inside, in the back of our minds, we still, as much as we say that we're checked out, some of us, we still are hopeful. I'm trying to say we're still hopeful. We still do want the best, and that's what it is. Like we might even sit in our silence with it. We might just sit in our silence and be okay with the silence for now. But in the back of our mind, we're like, it would be nice to have somebody, this and that. Um, and that's just what it is, right? So, with that being said, I would just say, hold on. Hold on to that hope. All right. Don't. I know, like I said, I know it's tough out here. It's not necessarily saying you won't. I mean, yeah, it's not saying you won't necessarily find anybody. There may be, the ratio might be more bad than good. So your chances of finding someone, it's like you gotta come across a few bad individuals in order to find maybe that one good. It's not impossible. That's why I say don't give up. Do not give up. Don't give up. Okay? Yeah, just hang in there. Honestly, if God willing, I mean, if I even get enough support at the same time, right? Because y'all be showing love and I appreciate it. Um, if I get enough support and God willing that I, you know, grow to a certain degree, what I would do is I would actually run some kind of a business or a system where I don't know. I probably would try to like look out and try to like set up some kind of not like a speed dating love fest kind of thing, but something around that. I feel like I would try. I would just try it out, just to try to like see if I can like help people come together kind of thing. Like I feel like I would try that. I don't know if you guys would probably like that. Let me know. Um, but without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's talk marriage real quick. That's what this is about. When you do come across the right one, all right? When you do come across the right one, I know, like I said, I know it's tough out here. Keep hanging on and smash that like button, guys. Appreciate it. Smash that like button, hit that follow button, guys, so you guys can get updated when I come out with more stuff. So once again, let's talk marriage, all right? So now we all know, that marriage is a big step, right? We all know that marriage is a big step, and commitment is a big step as well. All right, marriage and commitment are both big steps. We know this. That not a lot of people in today's day and age, they take that seriously. We know that not a lot of people today, they're not taking that department commitment serious, and it can be a scary thing. It can be. And a lot of people don't realize how important it is to remain committed to one person, right? A lot of people don't realize how important it is to remain committed to one person. Now, I feel like in order for someone to take you serious, right? To be committed to just one person, you have to have you I think you have to find some kind of value in that person. All right, let's start there. You have to find some kind of value. There has to be some kind of value, some kind of worth. All right. Too many of us, and this also plays off of the story that I just kind of told earlier on in the beginning of this video, with myself. Too many of us go off of the looks only of a person. That's why a lot of our situations don't turn out as good as we would want it to, because we keep looking at only the physical, and that is not enough, guys. That's not enough. I can't stress it enough. That's not enough. You have to find some kind of worth and value in the person in order for you to take commitment serious with the person. It's more than just the looks. Too many people just go off for the looks. Oh, I see a person out in public, they look really good, let me get their number, let me talk. Okay, that part's normal, but once you get to know them too, a lot of us, we choose to force ourselves, we force the situation further. If there are a few red flags, don't ignore the red flags. If you find the red flags early, you don't ignore it. All right, don't ignore it. You act on it. You move forward. All right. Now I must say this. I must say this. If you get involved with someone without God, because this is a big one too, actually. If you get involved with someone without God, without God's approval, His permission, His movement, anything of that nature, you do it by yourself. It'll be tough. It'll be tough. All right. To go a lifetime with someone that you kind of moved without God on, is it can backfire. It can backfire. Um, Many reasons for that. Um, not saying that if the person doesn't, that's a tough one. Let's leave that for a little bit. Let's leave that for a little bit. All I'm saying is, the more you lean on God for His decisions, and if the other person, honestly, let's start off like this as well. If the person doesn't even believe in God at all, they don't believe in God, they don't follow God, they don't. That by itself is a red flag. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna be straight up with you. That's a red flag by itself. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it. It might even be distasteful. Might even be like, as soon as you said that, I'm just gonna click off of this. And I feel you. I don't blame you. Not everybody walk after God. Not everybody likes God. Not everybody even thinks of God. Is this world deals with all walks of life, different types of people. But what I will say this is, the more the person does acknowledge and walk with God, is the more I know you're a person I can trust. I'm gonna leave it just like that. If a person says, "Oh, I'm a atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't want to," I'm gonna automatically think, okay, if you can't even love God, how can you love me? Think about that. You can't even acknowledge God and love God. How can you love another person? You gotta have a foundation to start off of, and He's the best foundation you can start off of. The best. But I digress. Let's keep it going. We have to keep in mind. We do have to keep in mind that marriage was created by God. Okay, it was created by God. The original thought processes create. If He was the originator, we didn't form it. It wasn't started by man. He was. All right, so we can't make it seem like we were the ones that started it. Because we didn't. We weren't. All right. So to try to like bypass marriage, you know, to try to bypass the fact that he was the one that created it to appease our own desires is faulty, and it's error. It's an error. You're in error if you do that. Because, like I said, imagine getting married to someone without God on your side, in your corner. It can be scary because you don't know which way it's gonna go. You don't. Some Man, I can go so deep with this, but I don't want to go too deep into it. People lose their lives in situations like this. That's why it's so serious. It is a serious decision. That's why you got to take your time in it. One strong point, one strong point I want to bring up and cover, guys, is that God is the one who is responsible to bringing two people together, not ourselves. I know that we want to um, move in this area without Him as much as we want to, but once again, like I said, it's not safe. This is one of those decisions. Is like you kind of need Him on your side in this decision, because this decision is a do or die decision, and not of us think of it like that. We don't. We just, like I said, we just see somebody pretty. Oh, hey, boom, I like you. I think you're cute, and then you just act on that. But you don't know this person's probably gonna, um, rob you blind in your sleep. You don't even know that. You're just going off of looks alone. Especially in 2026. Yeah, I know we ain't got no time for that. Woo! I'm trying to tell you. Trying to tell you. All right. In the Bible, right? Uh, the man is to find a suitable helper, and the woman is the suitable helper, guys. The man is to find a suitable helper. This is a really tough one for a lot of women. I want to say more so women, because what a helper is it means you are willing to help the man. How many women are willing to help the man? In today's society, I've seen enough videos recently. I've seen enough videos recently, enough clips to see that there are a lot of, I guess, boss babes out here. I'm a boss babe or a boss chick. I don't even know what the names are nowadays. I'm a boss babe, boss chick. Like, can I get MOD? What's that? What's MOD? Let me know what that is. But yeah, like, you know, I think he's got bright up in here. Basically, the man is supposed to find someone suitable that's willing to help him. If the woman's not willing to help him, she automatically ain't the one. So, ladies, if you're watching this, if you're not willing to help no man at all, because I seen, like I said, I can't stop laughing because there are so many different women that talking about, oh, I ain't, it's like it just kind of boils down to, like, what are you there for? If you're there to be a trophy wife, just to be pretty, to just sit there and collect my funds and stuff like that, like, ain't nobody got time for that. I've seen enough videos, like I said recently, in clips of, like, I guess there are a lot of men right now who are checking out. A lot of men are checking out. Let me readjust this, because brightness is doing something. Right? I think I just seen, like, videos basically, like, a lot of men are checking out right now. Let me put this on charge because I want this thing to die on me. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Uno momento, por favor. 1 second, y'all. Let me put this on charge, man, because I don't want this to die on me. Alright. Oof, excuse me. Let me put this on charge. Give me a sec. Put my phone on charge. So, I've been seeing a few videos about men checking out. And by checking out, I mean they are kind of like giving up on, like, the dating scene, talking to girls, approaching girls in public, things of that nature. I'm seeing a lot of those kind of videos going around. So I don't know how many of you guys are, like, in on that. I kind of find it funny. It's kind of entertaining to me. I don't know, because I mean, okay, I know a few years back, I guess a lot of this originated and started from, like, uh, women fighting for their rights. I guess, right? Like, fighting for their rights. They want to be independent. Things of that nature. Boss chicks, boss babes, things like that. Scott Zuko. Hey, Scott Zuko, bro. Hey, follow me, bro. I feel like you need to watch some of my content, bro. Cause we don't do that on this side. Ooh, that boy said. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there. Nah, bruh. We can't do that. But follow my content though, so you can pick a few things up. Um, like, and I get it. Like I said, I know it's tough out here with the um with the scene, with the dating scene and all that. A lot of guys are checking out. They're not really wanting to pursue a lot of women right now, because of they feel like it's more of a loss than a win. It's more of an L than a W. Um, we can't blame a lot of the guys, when we see what's going on right now in today's society, where if there are women who are constantly feeding off of their own pride and pleasures versus thinking about the two of you guys as a team, because a relationship is a partnership, so you gotta come together. The two becomes one for a reason. It's not two remains two. Then there's no point in you trying to find somebody. Just stay single. um but appreciate it, guys. Smash that like button, hit that follow button. Appreciate you guys. um you know it's like I said, it's the time right now, it's pretty beat up. It is pretty beat up. um you know a lot of women are looking out for themselves, and I don't know if it's derived from pride alone or if it's also a mixture of pride and trauma, because I feel like trauma by itself can do a lot. Like if you're a woman, if you've been hurt enough times in your past by enough men, it definitely can change you to become like one of these women that you're like, your heart becomes cold, you're only thinking about yourself, you're not thinking about the other person anymore. That's sad. A situation that's sad to be in. And um I feel like that's also a situation that needs to be worked on before it gets deeper and darker, because it will get deeper and darker. All right. Um. So once again, men are checking out as far as they're not really like, they don't want to pursue a lot of women right now. Um. And once again, that's due to because a lot of the women are, I don't want to say selfish, but they're really just thinking about themselves in a sense. They're only thinking about taking, me, instead of we, And like I said, it's a partnership. So that's the one thing we gotta keep in mind going forward. If you want to get involved with someone, I mean, there are some women that they um they only see you as pocket change. They see you as a bank. There are someone that definitely do see you only as money. That's the sad part. You gotta, as men, you gotta be able to tell. You gotta be able to tell. You know who you're dealing with. You gotta be able to tell and know that, um, the person that you're dealing with is genuine. They're genuine. They're legit. That's where our judgment comes in. At we gotta be the ones to have our guards up, and not the bad side of the guards, but the good side of the guard. Because there's a bad side to having your guards up. That means you're not talking, you're not hearing nothing from nobody. You're just blocked out. Versus the good side is, you're just aware of the negative people that are out here, and you're not willing to play their games. All right. So yes, ladies, it is the job of the woman. It is. I don't want to say our job, because I'm not a woman, but it's the job of the woman to be a helper to the man. It's always been like that. That's how God always wanted it, and that's always, I feel like, is the best way to go about it too. It's to know how a woman is genuine. To be honest, all right. That's how you'll know a part of it. That's a part of how you'll know that she's genuine, if she's willing to help you. I'm just trying to tell you. I don't create the rule. I'm just stating it. All right. In God's eyes, it is wise to have one suitable helper, fellas, not many. Not many. I see that we are in a time where, I don't know, it's so weird. where there are a lot of men who they have I mean, man, this world needs help. Woo! This world needs help, boy. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Both sides need help. Um, I get it. Back in biblical days, having more than one person was a thing. Nowadays, it can be a thing if you want it to be a thing. I'm not gonna bash and say no, you shouldn't do it. I don't think it's wise. I don't think it's a good idea for a lot of different reasons. One, because it's not real love. Two, you're only doing it because you're feeding your flesh. That's the only reason why you're doing it. It's not. We all know it's not out of love. No one can sit here and tell me, "Oh yeah, I love 2, 3 people. I'm dating. I got 3, 4 girlfriends, and they and it's the point where all the girlfriends know, and they're okay with it. Like what? Like I said, I know they did this kind of stuff back in the day, but this ain't back in the day now. We feel a little fast forward now, and I get it. It's normally people who got like bread, like wealthy people, who be sitting and moving like that. But once again, that's not out of love. Y'all just moving out of y'all flesh. That stuff dies out. That stuff it's not forever. We not forever. We're not forever. So while we moving out of only our flesh and desires, it's not gonna last forever. I mean, it never lasts forever. It'll come to a point where, let's say you had 3, 4 girlfriends and y'all know each other. Maybe like, I don't know, 10 years down the line, 10 years later, a few of them might come to their senses and be like, I don't even want to be here no more. And they can easily come to that decision, even if you got all the money and finances and funds and all that. Some women will come to that conclusion and understanding. Now let's talk about the women that are in that situation. That's why I started laughing a little, because that's why I say, we need help. This world needs help, because to be a woman, right? To be a woman and to be in that position, to be okay with, I guess, being a side piece and being like, girlfriend number 3 or girlfriend number 4 to one man. I would have to ask, how's your mentality? How's your mindset? What's your mindset like? Are you okay? I would ask you, are you okay? Are you going through it? Like, is there something you're not telling me? Are you undercover psycho, undercover crazy, or you really just, because there's just no level of integrity in that. I can never understand how a woman can be okay with being girlfriend number 3, 4 to one man, because we all know, once again, that you're not happy. Like, you are not happy. All them pictures you see them, like the guy in the middle, you see like 2, 3 girls on the side of him, they be smiling. That's fake smiling, by the way. Them smiles ain't real. They be putting on for y'all. They be sitting there cheesing, like cheesing from ear to ear, like they actually happy. You're not happy, bro. Stop lying. There's no way you're happy. No way. And I'm gonna repeat that for the people who wants me to clarify that part. There is, I might even make it a clip. Forget that. There is no way that you are in a multiple partnership relationship, say 2, 3, 4 women to one man, and the man or the woman are actually 100% happy. Neither party's actually happy. The man is doing it because he's satisfying his flesh. He's just doing it because he's satisfying his flesh. And the woman is probably just, they're feeding off of his wealth. That's it. So there's no true happiness in that. It's fake, not authentic. And we all know that fake don't last long. Like I said, I don't make the rules. I just state it. Um, Now, once again, it's in God's eyes, and it's also wise for us to have one suitable helper, not many options or suitable helpers. That's why modern dating is honestly in error. Modern dating, a lot of the times, is honestly in error. God didn't put you two together um, when you put you two together. When we are, that's why, I mean, it's sad to say, but I have to say it. That's why a lot of us have a lot of exes and things like that. Because it's not that the person wasn't a great person, it's the person wasn't who God wanted for you originally. That's how we have so many exes and things like that. That's why things don't work out. If God does it, do you really think it would happen like that? Do you really think it wouldn't work out? That do you really think, oh, here's another one. Do you really think it would happen like that, right? Do you really think it would do you really think you would find your person on like Tinder or Hot or Not or Plenty of Fish or even Christian Mingle for that matter? Let's be real. Let's be all the way real. Not saying you can't find love in these places at all, but as I'm saying that, I'm sure a lot of us is probably like, you know, Tinder and Hot or Not, even Christian Mingle, Plenty of Fish. Like, you know, what I'm trying to say, like, what do you really think God has your person on that app for you? Like they sell you to believe? Do you think so? I'm sure some of y'all probably sitting there laughing. Yeah, you're right. I'm laughing too. Like, nah. Another huge and important point about marriage, real quick, right? Not not what we put together, by the way, because we do that. We put our marriages together. There is a huge misconception going on in the world that is confusing a lot of people that I want to help to kind of clear up and add clarity to. And it's this point right here. People think and say that it is that it's a bad look in God's eyes when people divorce. And I say that that's false. Hear me out. I'll tell you what I mean by that. For the longest, for the longest now, people have mistaken ourselves, governmental marriages, and pastors marrying two people with God's choice of marrying a person, with marrying two people together. I don't think you guys caught me on that. I'm gonna repeat that one. For the longest, now, people have confused and mistaken ourselves, that means our own marriages, what we put together, governmental marriages, when the government's involved, obviously, and pastors marrying two people with God's choice of marrying two people. What does that mean? Why do you think there are divorces in the world? Because a lot of the times, if not most of the time, or if not all the time, that person wasn't God's original choice for you to begin with. You ever think about that? A lot of people, when they see someone separating, divorcing, things like that, they think that it's against God, or and they that's the first one of the first things that they try to like throw in people's faces. Like, oh, what did God say about divorce, this and that? He hates the divorce that he himself put together. That's the confusion part. We confuse God's marrying two people together and the world's marrying two people together. These are two different things, guys. I promise you, these are two different things. Just because you go to the church, you ask the pastor to, hey, let's get married. That's not the same as God bringing two people together and saying, yeah, this is your person. It's not the same. That's why we have so many divorces. That's why in 2026, 2025, 2024, the divorce rates have been higher than ever before. Because these people are not the original person that God wanted to bring you two together. And then people go on to say also, oh, when the person divorces, well, not a lot of people know this part, but I'll just throw this part in. They'll be like, oh, some people say, oh, you divorce, you can't remarry, things like that. And like I said, if the person was not God's original person for you, God can take you out of a marriage himself. I don't know if people know that. God can take you out of a marriage. If it wasn't the marriage that was supposed to be to begin with, God can take you out of it. And he can and he will take you out of it if the situation is supposed to go how he wants it to go. And that's the now that I even said that, that's the crazy part that you don't hear anybody talking about. No one thinks God can take you out of a marriage. You just think you just married someone in the world, and you just think God's going just like, oh yeah, I put a stamp of approval on this. No, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. We can force our own marriages. Food for thought. Something maybe not a lot of people think about. All right. Let's see. All right. Now I'm gonna go into this a little bit further. I'm gonna go into this a little bit further and break this down a little bit more. where people get a paper. I always got a friend in here, bro. Where people where people get a piece of paper, right? People get a paper, a contract. Peace out, cub. Alright. People get a piece of paper or a contract from the government. Appreciate the roses, by the way. I see you over there. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Smash that like button, hit that follow button, y'all. I appreciate the love and support, by the way. So I can see more of my content coming through. People think that by getting a piece of paper and a contract from the government and, you know, through marriage, and they confuse it with covenantal marriage. I don't think y'all heard me on. I don't think I heard me on that. Let me bring that back. Hold on. Let me reverse. People confuse contract marriages. Marriages that involve the government. The government is in your business. The word, the normal marriages that you see all the time. People confuse that marriage with covenantal marriage. What's covenantal marriage? Once again, covenantal marriage is the marriage that God Himself put people together, put two people together, not what we do. There is a huge difference. Okay? I'm gonna repeat that again, real short. Contract marriages is what we do on a day-to-day basis. They're kind of like the norm that you see. The normal you see, people getting married, things like that, right? Don't confuse that for covenant marriage. Covenant marriage is not the same. Covenant marriage is the one that God gets mad about. If He brings two people together and y'all divorce, that He'll get upset about. Contract marriages, the ones we see out and about that we put ourselves in together, if you separate in that, He's not going to get mad about that. If it was not in His will, if He didn't want you to be with a person and you chose to be with a person and you separate from that person, do you really think He's going to be mad about that? Think about that for a second. Appreciate the hearts. I love y'all too. I love you too. Hearts, hearts, hearts. I'm all over the place. Let's go. Like, think about that. Do you really think God would get mad at you for separating from someone that you were not supposed to be with to begin with? He's not going to get mad. So when people use that card on you, tell them exactly that. That contract marriages and covenantal marriage is not the same thing. Back in the days, I appreciate the love. Back in the days, think about it like this. Think about it like this, right? Back in the days, we didn't have the systems that you see today where two people get married in front of a pastor. You think they had that back in the days? Like way back in the days? Where the government gets involved? No. They didn't have that back in the day. That concept is fairly new. That concept is just kind of like freshly created by the government and the systems and things of that nature. So think about it like that. So if the government and getting married in front of a pastor wasn't the original way that two people got married, then you got to sit and think, how did they get married back in the day? The original creation of things. Right? Back in the day, marriages was done by covenant and consecration, not contracts. It wasn't until a certain point where I think it was I don't want to be wrong with my characters right now. I think it was Moses, or one of I forget who it was. As of right now, it'll probably kick back in a little later. But basically, the only it was only one point in time that mentioned where um, paperwork was, it just started. Hold on. Government have messed everything up. Hey, Matthew's already on it. Exactly, Matt. Exactly. The government's always messing everything up, right? Right. Always, always. Like they can't. They always got their nose in people's business. Like they can't just stay in their lane. Like we all got our lanes. We all got our own lives to live. Why you worried about my life? Why you gotta hit me with taxes, right? Like you can. Some of them probably not even getting taxed. You wanna charge taxes? You probably not even taxing yourself. Man, we ain't got time for them, bro. I like that comment though, Matt. Appreciate you, my boy. Hit that follow button so we keep keeping the loop, keeping the loop. Appreciate you, appreciate you. So back in the day, right? I want to make sure this thing doesn't keep cutting on me. Hold on. All right, bet. Keep it straight, good. Stay straight. All right, here it is. All right. Back in the day, marriages once again was done by covenant and consecration. All right. That's what I was saying before. Paperwork wasn't introduced to the picture until I think it was Moses, or it was one of them. But they basically only started creating paperwork, like a certificate for divorce, because they saw that men back in the days were unfairly divorcing their wives. So they were like, all right, we got to create a system for this. That's when they started, it started with like the paperwork a little bit because of that. But fast forward today, you see them abusing it. They're using it for all kinds of reasons now. You see that? You see how they use marriages to like, force marriages, planned marriages, plan, beneficial marriages. They like to, I'm trying to say, they like to like put their families together with someone because they want to marry into the family because they have wealth and things of that nature. Like all that, and all that is in error, because if you're not doing it God's way, then don't do it at all. Hold on. Wow, bro. So, um, there's a lot of reasons, a lot of wrong reasons to get married nowadays. There is a lot of wrong reasons to get married nowadays. There is a lot of wrong reasons to get married nowadays. And the only one right reason is really that God brought y'all together. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, honestly, I even go as far as saying, even like love. People be like, oh, I love this person. That can be a really tricky field because love is a feeling, love is an emotion. That can kind of like go away if you're not like, if you don't have a solid foundation with the person, like y'all don't have tough skin together. That means when tough times come around, love alone won't fix the problem. You need more than love in tough times. Yeah, appreciate that, Matt. Like We're getting older. We're not getting any younger. So we got to start thinking like that. We got to start thinking like, okay, longevity. Like we don't have time to waste. You can't just get with somebody just because, oh, that person's pretty, that person's beautiful. Oh, I think I love this person now. No, no. Older, not not younger. That means we are acting as such. We got to start moving a certain type of way. We can't waste our own time. Like we don't have that kind of time no more. The time we had when we were super young, we don't have that same kind of time anymore. So we got to be more intentional with our choices. All right. Um. Now, so when I see when I see or when I hear people saying things like you can't divorce or divorcing someone is bad, that's not entirely true or applicable. I'm going to repeat that. When I see people saying that you can't divorce someone, that it's bad, that's not necessarily true or applicable. That's the government has found their ways of manipulation. Let's put it like that. The world has found their ways of manipulation. Why do you think they feed off of marriages? Why do you think prime I mean, yeah, why do you think they're coming down heavy on the men in this country, in the world? They're using this is how let me put it like this. Let me spell it out a little bit more. It's how you know they playing dirty, bro. The system is using they're using the woman to get to the man. Hmm. Let's sit back and think about this real quick. What does that remind us of? It sounds quite familiar. Like back in the garden, in Adam and Eve times, when the devil used Eve to get to Adam. The devil's tricks have not changed, guys. His tricks have not changed. You look around today, you see the system, how it's set up. It's set up primarily to make the man lose, to feed off of the man, to take from the man. And the reason behind this, the reason is because think about it like this. If you take from the man, right? At least you gotta think about this from their perspective, from their mindset. If you take from the man, then the man won't be able to compete with the system. The system is primarily worried about men. Why do you think in the past couple of years they've been pushing so much confusion in narratives and stuff like that? They call masculinity toxic. They call masculinity toxic. Like what is that? Like what? Like what world are we in, bro? Like I get it. The years are progressing, but common sense don't change either though. The world may progress in years, but common sense it shouldn't change. So when I hear stuff like that, it's like y'all playing games, bro. That's what I be feeling like. I don't know if y'all be feeling the same way, but I'm like y'all here playing. I ain't got time for this. Masculinity is toxic now. Like what? You see how they trying to like find ways to bring the men down, to defame men, and then you see how they try to uplift the woman, talking about, oh, all these boss babes coming out. They trying to kind of like push that narrative to make women focus on like their power, woman empowerment, and to belittle the men, so that way the men can't find their power anymore. I don't know if y'all see what I see. Exactly, Matt, bro. No time for BS. I completely agree with you on that. Right. No time for it. We really don't have time for it. Like, there's a lot of people out here wasting people's time. I'm not one of them. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste y'all time. I'm the kind of person, I want to see y'all win. I want to put y'all on game. I want to do what I can to push y'all forward, progress everybody. Like, that's what I want to try to do. I ain't got time for the hate. Life's too short to be hating on somebody else. Like, what you hating for? I think love is a better attribute to have. It pushes our world forward. It pushes purpose forward. I mean, if we're gonna be here in the world, we might as well love one another and push purpose versus pushing hate, where hate's gonna hold us back. Like, which one would you rather pick? Would you rather waste your time and your life on hating somebody? That's a waste of life, bro. I ain't nobody got time for that. Or would you rather show support, love on other people, see other people want to win, see other people want to come up in the world? I think that's more meaningful. I think that has way more of it makes more sense to me. You got to pick a side. You got to choose. 100%, bro. Yeah. They got us hating on each other. Yeah, they do. Yep. That's really what the yeah, this world, the governmental systems, all of them. They think about it like that too. Yeah, they got us hating each other. That means the more division you have, the more division you have, that means we can't come together to come against them. They're afraid of that. They don't want us to come together. But think about that though. How amazing that would be, huh? If we came together, bro. Ooh. You thought what they tried to do back in the days, creating that Tower of Babylon, whatever was, because that's what it was. Like, when they created that Tower of Babylon, there was a part in the Bible, in the scripture, where God said it himself. God said that if basically if we put our heads together, we can accomplish anything. There's nothing under the heavens that we cannot accomplish if we put our heads together. Think about that. But what did the government and all these worldly powers and people do? The complete opposite. They want us to hate each other. They cause divisions on media. They created COVID to keep us indoors, divided from one another. That's why you think so many people right now have been so isolated more than ever. You see somebody in the street, you feel like they're an alien or something. It's like you're kind of like you get that kind of feeling like you're cringy about it. Like they're human just like you, but we act like they're not human, not even human. Why? Because of the narrative that has been painted by these people in power. Appreciate the love, y'all. For real, for real. As long as y'all show that love, I'm gonna keep pushing. That's how it works. Make the world go around that way. That's what it is. Smash that like button, hit that follow button, y'all. So I can get that get more content coming through. Cause I definitely got more content coming through. I make music too, so I'm about to drop some songs for y'all real soon. So stay tuned for that as well. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait for that. But once again, we see how the narrative is being painted to keep us divided. So imagine if we actually did come together for real. Something to think about. They're even, yeah, like, and why do you think they're even attacking marriages? Marriages have been completely, I don't want to say completely shattered in a sense, because it's not completely. I feel like there's always a bounce back. You can always bounce back. But they did a number on marriages for real though. People are not trying to get married. People are afraid to get married. Things like that. Like these worldly powers have attacked marriages. They have attacked marriages. They made people afraid to get into marriage. They're trying to keep us divided. And they're even going as far as using us to further divide ourselves. Women are pushing the boss babe narrative, causing way more destruction. Men, I mean, some men are selfish, don't know what it means to truly love on somebody. We got to work on that. I get it. Not a lot of us were raised in homes where we can be taught on that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want to help in that department, help raise my fellas up, so we can have a different approach, a better chance at life that they're not giving us. So we got to be the ones to take it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to be the ones to take over. They're not. We can't sit here and rely on worldly powers, governmental powers, on the government anymore. If you're sitting there waiting for a governmental check, still, you're already falling behind. Because we can't rely on them. They have let us down time and time again, and they're also showing you that they don't care. So to completely give them your trust, man, I can go so deep into this. COVID by itself, if y'all really think that was real, I'm gonna leave it like that because I don't want them to come for me right now. I'm gonna leave certain details for like the near future. But if you feel like COVID by itself was real, like real, and wasn't like a planned thing, then you're heavily mistaken. Um, Now, there are many cases. Appreciate the love, you guys. Smash that like button. Hit that follow button, you guys. Hit that follow button so I can get more notifications. More videos, more notifications. And I got a lot more coming. I got a lot more coming. Alright. Now, there are many cases, guys, with God where He Himself wants us to come out of agreements and marriages that He didn't participate in. I know some of you probably heard that and like, what? God wants us to come out of certain marriages? Yeah. You don't think God would want us to come out of a marriage that He didn't Himself want to happen? Think about that. Like really think about that. If God didn't plan for two people to be together, you don't think He would want the two to maybe separate? You think because people force marriages, that's a reason? I like to see. I like them. I like them hearts right there. That means something right there. That means y'all feeling it. Yeah, because it's facts. It's real. You really think because we force a marriage that God is supposed to just okay it? Like, oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just go ahead, you know. Like I didn't actually have purpose for you with someone else. I didn't have purpose, real purpose for you with someone else. So go ahead, just marry whoever you want to. It's okay. Nah, that's not how he sees it. We force marriages. We force our own marriages. We get the government system involved. We get the pastor to do it, and we just boom married. It's done deal. This is what God wanted. That's it. That's not how God sees it, guys. Marriage is a spiritual thing before it's a physical thing. By the way, what is God? He's a spirit, right? So you don't think? And wait, let me say it like this. One, God is a spirit, right? And it's also been said that God created the story of time not from beginning to end, but from the ending. He started from the ending first, so he knows already how everything's going to play out. He knows how everything's going to play out. So if he knows how everything's going to play out, don't you think he already has someone that he himself wants to be with for us? Like our own person? He has a person set for us. You don't think that's possible? It is possible. But once again, we still have free will. We are still able to choose. He won't force you to do what he wants to do. There's been countless stories in the Bible where you'll see someone walking with God, right? They'll be walking with God first, and then what do? They turn their backs on God. Just to give you a few, just to give a few names. Um, was it Saul? Who was the first king, right? And then David came. Was it Saul? Yeah, Saul. Yeah, it was Saul. Saul. If you guys know the story with Saul, his story, how he didn't listen to God, he wanted to do things his own way. And what did God do? He stripped him of his kingship and gave it to David. Another person that this happened to is um, Solomon. Solomon is another example. What happened with Solomon? The wisest He was called the wisest man in the Bible, the wisest man to have lived. What happened with Solomon? As the years progressed, he decided to get multiple wives. He got multiple wives, and the wives that he got were like worshiping like other false gods, evil gods, things like that. And what happened with that? Those wives eventually were able to convince him to fall, kind of like, yeah, they were like dragging him like spiritually, pulling him away from God, and they succeeded. They did. So you see how we are able to change our own narrative. It's not like it's supposed to be some fairy tale. Like, we have choice, guys. We have a choice. We do have choice. God gives us free will to choose. He's like, if you want to do your own thing, you can do that, but you're going to get your own results. Where he has a way that he already has set up for you. So he gives us free will, he gives us free choice, and we can definitely mess it up. All right, and yes, once again, that does fall in the whole area of marriage as well. Marriage counts too. Who we choose, we can choose our own without him. Um, there are a lot of people who are married to who they are not supposed to be married to in God's eyes. There are a lot of people who are married to people that they are not supposed to be married to in God's eyes. People think that this can't be a true thing. This can and is definitely a true thing. That's why it's wiser to move on his account, his accord. Let him bring the person to you versus just acting on impulse and just getting married quickly with a person type stuff. That's why you see there are a lot of dysfunctional marriages, like arranged marriages, where the two parties don't get put together by God, but by worldly systems, by the world. A lot of people get married they because of like family choosing for them. I don't know if you guys know about. I mean, we all know about that. Family choosing, right? Choosing for them, for family benefits, things like that. Like back in the days where you would get married to someone, right? So to someone's family line because of their wealth or benefits. But the part that they leave out and they don't tell you, and that they also don't take into consideration, is that you will have to be with this person, not them, for the rest of your life. And all that they come with, all that the person comes with, you got to be stuck with it. Or one of the best tactics by the enemy himself, deceiving many women and men too, to get married to them. When you see someone coming out of like the woodworks, out of nowhere, telling you things like, "Oh, I saw you in a dream." Like they're selling you dreams, like, "Oh, I saw you in a dream. You're my husband. You're my wife." Things like that. You ever heard people come at you like that? That's the enemy moving like that. Who God has for you, it'll never happen like that. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that boldly right now. If a person ever comes to you, be like, "Oh yeah, you're my wife. I had a dream. You're my wife. It's you." If anybody comes to you like that, don't start getting all flattery with them. Don't start feeling flattered, like, because I know a lot of women fall for that. I don't know why. I don't know why a lot of women fall for that, but I know a lot of women fall for that. When men especially come up to you and be like, "Oh yeah, I saw you in my dreams. You're my wife. You know, I was on a white horse with a knight in shining armor suit, waiting for you." And women just eat it up, not thinking that it's a red flag by itself. That's a huge red flag, guys. Whenever someone comes to you like that, whenever you see a man comes to you and be like, "Oh yeah, you're my wife. I had a dream about you." Don't believe it. That's a red flag. One of the biggest red flags. The devil uses tactics like that just to get you weak in the knees. See, I told you I was finna put y'all on game. You thought I was playing? You thought I came here to play? No. All right. Once again, the devil will send his people to throw God's people off. This is a real thing, guys. This is how a lot of people fall, and they're basically you're in the wrong marriage. Let me state it like this. Yes, the devil can send his people to you to get married to. As scary as that might sound, that stuff happens. If you don't think that can't happen, you better second think that right now. That's why I say that marriage is not for the faint. It's not just something that you just hop straight into unless it's God's approval. You don't want to just rush just anything with just anybody, because a lifetime with somebody is serious. You got to think about it being serious. You got to take it serious. The very second before you even think about it, you got to already take it serious. Like a lifetime with somebody. If you don't think that's serious, then I don't know what to tell you. Once again, that stuff does happen, guys. Where the devil can definitely send people to you to be married to. I know something that you don't know, and I got something to tell you. So the next time you get upset about someone getting into a divorce, though, first you got to ask the question, because people do get upset when they see people divorcing. And the next time you see someone divorcing, right, first ask the question, was that even the person that God had for that person? People completely overlook that. Y'all don't even take that in consideration or in thought at all. Like, it just doesn't even go into people's membrane. They just see marriage by itself like it's something separate from God. Like, marriage it was never really a separate thing from God. Because too often we leave the part out. We leave that part out, and then we wondered what happened. We leave God out, and we wondered what happened. What happened? Why did they separate? Because God was never in it to begin with. You never think about that? If God is not, if he doesn't have his hand on something, and it's not covered by him, do you know how vulnerable that is? It's flimsy. It can go with the wind. All right, let's move forward. Uh, I got a verse. For you real quick. And this is in Matthew 19, Matthew chapter 19, 4 through 6. And what does it say? It says, "And he answered and said to them, have you not read that he who made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason A man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This is so good. So then, they are no longer two, but one flesh. This is the part I want you guys to zoom in on. This is the part I want you to zoom in and focus on. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh. Right? Therefore, what God has joined together, what God, I emphasize this part, what God has joined together, not what the pastor has joined together, not what we have joined together. We mistake that part. What God has joined together, because he can join two people together. Let no man separate. If God has joined two people together, he says, let no man separate. And what you think the devil's going to try to do? You don't think he's still going to try to separate it? As hard-headed as he is, I can't wait for the day for him to get gone. I ain't finna lie to you. The day for him to go, oh, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good day. Because he is definitely annoying. He is annoying. God says, what he brings together, let no man separate. So we don't have the ability. We have the ability to get with the wrong person, but there comes a time where he can separate you and reunite you with the right person that was supposed to be there from the beginning. Once again, people get this part mixed up. They get this part mixed up, where the pastor says, "You may now kiss your bride." You know, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, when God brings you two together, da 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 da." Just because the pastor says those words verbally from his mouth is not the same as saying God did approve of these two people being together. It's not the same. I don't know if a lot of people know that. We just create our own marriages, and we go to the pulpit. We get married with a person that God didn't approve. We force his stamp on it. We just say, "Oh yeah, this is it. God approved this," and that's it. That's not how it works. We can't force God to have us be with somebody. Trust me, I've tried it. Man, listen, I was hard-headed back in the days. But I mean, I was head over heels over this person. I really wanted it to work out. But God did not let it work out. And I am grateful that he did not allow it to happen. Now looking back on it, I can see why he didn't want it to happen. I'm grateful for it. Oh man, I tell you, it's a thing. It really is a thing. So once again, guys, when you get married at like by the pastor, right? And he goes, I now pronounce you husband and wife. That makes that makes a man and a woman husband. That does not make a husband really husband and wife. That him verbally just saying it is not the same as God saying it, or God saying I approve of it. This being what I originally wanted. It's not the same thing. You get me, blood? So I don't want people to confuse that. Everyone gets that part twisted and confused. People get that part twisted and confused. That's why God isn't happy with a lot of people's marriages. He's not. We can't just force a marriage and then expect for God to just approve of it. It's not. We got it flipped. We got it flipped, guys. We gotta have God's approval first and then get married, not get married and have God's approval. Y'all see what I'm saying? We have it turned around. We get married and then we expect for God to just approve it, like it was already His choice of approval. When really it's the other way around. We gotta get His approval first and then get married. The world has found a way to flip it, and we gotta be the one to flip it back. We gotta flip it back. Get His approval first on the person. Don't just see a person because, oh yeah, this person looks good. Oh, I love. Don't even go off of just your emotions. Oh, I love this person, because your emotions can change, and who knows, a year, 2 years. If this person is not really they don't have the qualities that you actually want in a person, you think you're gonna be happy in the long haul? Because you gotta remember, a lifetime with a person is serious. People don't take that part. They don't really take that seriously. They don't think about that. You spending the rest of your life with somebody, that's a serious like devotion. Make sure this thing's on. All right, there it is. All right. So if you're gonna be with someone for the long haul for the rest of your life, you gotta start thinking like that. You gotta start thinking more than just looks. You gotta start thinking more than just, oh, I love them. You gotta think more about that, more than just that. It comes with more than just that. You gotta think about if times are rough, will you still have my back? Because I'm telling you, if you're starting off of just love alone, there are people that we say, oh yeah, I got married with them because I love them, but they're also not going to be able to stand ground if tough times come. It's not the same thing. That's why you got to get with somebody that you know is down for you. Definitely don't just go off of looks. Trust me, I fell for that one. Never again, bro. I ain't never gonna fall for just your looks, bro. You gotta come to the picture with more than just that. And I don't encourage any of my fellas to just go for a girl because he looks. Don't go for no girl just because of how she look. It's gonna come back and bite you. Um Once again, God is not happy with a lot of marriages because people are with the wrong person, right? And people think that when people divorce and they separate, that that it immediately means God is not happy with the fact that they divorced, and that's not necessarily the case. That is not necessarily the case, because there are people that are together that God did not intentionally plan to be together Himself. We planned it. We can force our own hands, and if we don't think that that's true, look at the statistics about the last couple of years. How many divorces have been happening? Why do you think that is? You think God wants that? When God plans a marriage, I bet you the marriage rates, it won't be looking how the years have been looking. The success rate of the marriages would not be looking how you see them. How you seen them looking the past couple of years. The success rate will be way better, way better. I mean, there probably won't even be any divorces, to be honest, if you did it God's way. The divorce rate would be 0%. A marriage where God does not approve, you will find no peace in it. I'm going to repeat that. A marriage that God does not approve of, you will find no peace in it. People out here talking, like taking people's, wives, bypassing like God with no consent. You're taking people's husbands without God's consent. God don't like ugly though. He don't like ugly. The audacity. Now, since we're here on the topic of divorce, uh, it's bad to God when two people that He Himself brought together separates. That's once again when it becomes bad. When people that He brought together, that there's a divorce that happens because He planned it, and if we choose to divorce, that is when He's upset. That's when it becomes bad, and bad in His eyes. The conditions that God allows divorce is under two conditions. All right? Under two conditions, and that's if the person is being sexually immoral, sexual immorality. That means like the person's like cheating on you, you know, things like that. Right? And then the second one is the hardening of their heart, aka also known as unfaithfulness. If they're also unfaithful to you, and this can look like many things. Also known as, it can also be looked at as abandonment. If the person abandons you, if your God ordained spouse does these things, if the person that God has for you, if they do these things, then you can leave. Yes, He cares about His marriages, the people that He brings together, because He was the one that put them together. But people are still human, and we still have a choice to make. All right? If you're in a marriage that God didn't put together, that God didn't ordain to happen, He simply doesn't care as much. He doesn't care. You need to sprint out of there, to be honest. Sprint. Like, run out of there. Run out of there. I'm gonna actually end it around here, guys. I'm gonna end it here. I mean, I could go on about this subject. I could probably do a part two if you guys would want. Um, let me know if you would want me to. But yeah, but I'm gonna leave it here. Um, I will definitely leave it here. I was gonna say as well. Next week. Next week. Next week Wednesday. I'm gonna be going live again. Um, I'm going to be touching on. Basically, I'm gonna make two separate videos. Um, Speaking directly, one towards the men, one towards the women. And each of these videos will be speaking about what I feel like we are. It's basically like a blockage for us. What we need to change to get better results for ourselves. I think that's going to be a really interesting video to talk about. So, the next two episodes, the next two videos, I'm going to be covering that. So, if you guys would like, hit that follow button, hit that like button, hit that, so you can be notified when I do go live next week, Wednesday. And yeah, that video will be up. Those videos will be up in the next following 2 weeks. All right. I will definitely leave it at that. I love you guys. I'm gonna leave it there. I love you guys. And just keep your head up. Keep your head up. In this time. I know we are in some crazy times. Just keep your head up. All right. Much love, guys. I love you guys. Love the support. Love, you know, all the support. You guys are awesome. All right. Never, don't change unless you're changing for the better. All right. Once again, it's your boy, Truth, coming to you live on Truth Be Told. Catch your boy next week, around same time. I want to say about 12 o'clock, but it's definitely gonna be on Wednesday, next week Wednesday. And we'll chat it up. We'll chat it up. All right. Much love you guys. Once again, thanks for the support. I got some songs coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, we just gonna leave it there. Leave it there. All right, you guys. Much love y'all. Holla at your boiler. All right, y'all. Deuces.